Welcome back to 101 Sports, where I'm now joined by my favorite fantasy sports expert, Joe DiRienzo, because it is time once again for fantasy baseball season.
Best time of the year.
Best time of the year. So, Joe, first question for you. Clayton Kershaw received a nice little paycheck this summer.
He's doing all right for himself.
Where would you take the first-ranked overall pitcher?
Now, usually I stay away from pitchers early, but pitching is so deep this year that I'm okay with taking him early and using a weird strategy and not taking pitchers and loading up on hitters until like the 9th or 10th round, because Kershaw is ridiculous.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah. Totally load up on hitters, but take Kershaw first and make him the foundation of your pitching staff.
All right, so you're in the first round. You got
Yeah.
the 7th spot. What are you thinking right now? Let's look at your board.
So the top 10 for me for batters, not including pitchers, is a bit weird. It starts off easy. Mike Trout, duh. Miguel Cabrera, duh. Easy. Then the two NL MVP candidates last year, Paul Goldschmidt first, then Andrew McCutchen. And finally, Chris Davis rounds out my top 5.
Who almost won the MVP.
Guy can hit 50 home runs.
Oh,
so he's a great option there. And then here's where it gets weird. Because 6th, I have Adrian Beltre, who people don't have in their top 10, but he's unpredictable.
He's always been so consistent every single year.
Over 300, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, and you don't get that. And then after that, I've got Carlos Gonzalez and Hanley Ramirez, two guys.
Hanley!
Injury prone, but I loved Hanley's comeback last year. Has
he did
potential
a big comeback.
to be huge.
Especially with the Dodgers lineup.
Yeah, exactly. He's loaded. He's got
RBIs,
protection around him. And then rounding it out, Edwin Encarnacion.
Lots of home runs.
And Robinson Cano, who is higher on a lot of other boards. He's got no protection in the Mariners lineup, nowhere to knock in runs for RBIs, so I dropped him a bit in mine.
All right, so you said you're going to look at pitchers later in the draft.
Yeah, around 6 or 7, I'm okay with taking Clayton Kershaw.
All right, so maybe not the big-name pitchers, but what other pitchers are you thinking about taking later in the draft?
I've got 3 after the 10th round, starting with Doug Fister of the Washington Nationals. Moves from the AL to the NL and is still the 4th starter on the team. Completely loaded rotation. He's had a sub-3.7 ERA for 3 years in a row in the American League. Now he gets to face that pitcher. And 24 of his 32 starts last year were quality starts.
Not the strongest division in the NL East.
Yeah, exactly. So he's got a good job there. And then in the 12th round, Alex Cobb, Tampa Bay Rays, guy who got hit in the head with a line drive last year. Even after he came back, 2.4 ERA.
And they had a couple guys in Tampa Bay. Chris Archer, also another guy.
Yeah, they had a lot of good young guys known for their young pitching. And finally, 16th round, really late here, Sonny Gray. 24-year-old pitcher for the Oakland A's, 10 starts last year at the end of the season.
The A's also with another, like Jared Parker, a couple other sneaky guys you can take from the A's.
Sonny Gray, sub-3 ERA in 10 starts, in his first 10 starts at the Bigs for the Athletics. 2 starts against the Tigers in the ALDS last year. 3 runs total, 12 strikeouts in 13 innings. Kid can pitch, and he's young, so he's going to be cheap.
All right, well, Joe, we're always, or at least MLB GMs are always looking for the next big phenom. I mean, we had Trout and we had Puig over the last couple of years. But what veteran are you looking at that maybe goes a little bit under the radar?
Because I'm tired of looking for the next guy. There's no next Trout. At least for the next 10 years or so, there's no next Mike Trout. That. So let's look back at Albert Pujols. Why not?
Yeah, I would love to look back at Albert Pujols.
2 years ago, Albert Pujols
traded for him. He got hurt last year, but I'll take him again.
The third best player in fantasy baseball. Last year he drops off. He had plantar fasciitis in his foot for the entire season. Had a terrible year. It's more likely that he goes.
His numbers have been sloping since about 2008.
They've been declining for his whole career for the last couple of years. But it's more likely that he hits 285 with 30 home runs than we see what we saw last year. Yeah. So for a 6th or 7th round pick,
and
take Albert Pujols.
285, 30 home runs.
That's pretty good for a 6th or 7th round pick. And finally, Aaron Hill, another sneaky pick for Arizona. Yeah, when he's healthy, 290 and 25 home runs for a second baseman
last year.
It's unheard of for a second baseman. So if he can stay healthy, you've got a steal later in the draft.
Aaron Hill puts up a lot of power numbers. Surprisingly, hits a lot of home runs.
Second baseman, him and Cano are the only ones that hit over 25.
Coming up next, our experts will take the pitch and talk a little soccer. Stick around.